you often get people who will, if you try to turn them to the books, the journals, they will just accuse you of appeal to authority or something. And it's like, well, make your argument here. And it's like, dude, this is like a 150 character limit or something. It's like, you can't do that. And they don't understand. And then they've got very little
Yeah.
philosophical training, enough to just make them stupid or make them, hurt themselves. And they're going to call out things that aren't really fallacies. That's not a fallacy. The argument of authority is like, only applies when it's not a relevant authority. This is a relevant authority. You need to go look at it. But it's also like the part of the challenge is like, answer my question, answer everything about it, or else you failed. And I see this attitude in debates too. It's like
Well,
you said earlier, it's like,
it's not just it's answer my question and
mm-hmm,
answer everything about it,
yep,
but don't tell me to read your published stuff. Which is like,
yeah,
well, it's what you're asking me
where,
to basically reproduce word for word all my published stuff
yeah,
on Twitter. You just want me to do a Twitter thread of my published work? Is that what you want? I
yeah.
mean,
It's like this
'cause I'm happy to
laziness.
send it to you. I'm happy to send it to you for free if that's the
Yeah,
issue. It's
yeah.
just,
Because that's where your best work is. Obviously, it's been peer reviewed, went through tons and tons of revisions. But it's almost this laziness, unfortunately. I hate to use that term, but this idea that people want you to kind of do tricks, perform for them,
yeah,
and then do it now. I'm not going to look up your stuff. And then in debates, it's like, it's almost like they think it's such a high stakes because they're only maybe going to watch this debate. They don't want to read other stuff. They maybe don't even want to look at other debates you've been in. And if you can't answer every single little thing that has been challenged to you, even illegitimately challenged to you, then you've somehow failed or something. And that's kind of the thing, the rubric that they're working with to evaluate you in, and it's totally inappropriate.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just, and look, to be clear, and I tell my introduction to philosophy students this all the time. Not everybody has to be a philosopher.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can be a philosopher, right? And most people are going to be too busy in life to even have any kind of significant philosophical hobby where they follow, philosophy informally and so forth. And that's fine, right? I'm not, I don't want anybody to think, everybody has to read all my stuff
Right.
or has to read philosophy generally. I think, philosophy does stand apart from most other academic disciplines in that
Mm-hmm.
at least some passing formation in philosophy is a, a, a necessary condition of leading a fully flourishing human life. And so
Yeah.
philosophy is different in this respect than, say, biology or sociology or physics and so forth. But I'm not, I don't imagine that everybody has to be a philosopher or even has to have a philosophical hobby. But again, this gets back to like, okay, I mean, but I do want people to be have enough of self-awareness to know that they are not trained philosophers. And so if they want to
Yeah.
hold opinions about philosophical matters, they should, not necessarily just conform their opinion to philosophical authority because that's against the spirit of the philosophical project. But you should really think hard before, going on a tweet storm about
Yeah.
how someone who is a trained philosopher is obviously wrong about some
Yeah.
egregiously wrong about some elemental area of
Yeah. Rigid
philosophical
designation
discourse.
or something.
Yeah, like rigid designation or something like that. That's not a good idea. Right. So there should just be, you can either get involved in philosophy and really do the hard work and have the
Mm-hmm.
discipline necessary to do the hard work to know this stuff. And that doesn't necessarily have to take the form of getting a graduate degree in
Right.
philosophy.
Right.
I know lots of people. I know a fair number of people who know much more than any of my undergrads do about philosophy, who never
Yeah.
got any degree in
Yep.
philosophy. That's all well and good. But it does require a significant amount of discipline and so forth. And if you have other priorities in life, if that's not something you have the time and energy and resources to undertake, that's also fine. But just be aware,
Yep.
you know,
Acknowledge it.
acknowledge that's where you are
Yep.
in terms of philosophical expertise,
Yeah.
and that you know, uh, people are going to take that into account when weighting your opinion against someone